Should I be different now that I believe in Jesus? Sinning less? Hi, my name is Ted Rosenblatt, and I'm here with my father, Dr. Rod Rosenblatt, and this is Talks with Dad Rod. We do this so we kind of come at this discussion from a number of different angles, because this is really the Christian life struggle, which we just say, we keep banging the Romans 7 drum a lot, but it's the reality. It's the consolation for us when we struggle. But the question is true. I come to faith in Jesus. Shouldn't I expect some big old change in me? There's this other thing I hear and read about, that in my faith I've received this new man, the way Scripture describes it. Mm-hmm. Should I not now be different with this?
According to the law, yes.
That doesn't sound happy, though, when you say it like that.
Yeah, I know.
That sounds a little frightening.
Yeah.
That doesn't match my life.
Right. Doesn't match mine either. The command is yes. There are even passages where we're led to believe you can expect this, rightly expect it. And you say, great. But the daily reality is our old Adam is more active and alive than we like to acknowledge. And when that's the case, we're going to meet defeat after defeat after defeat on that question. And the answer is, so is that the end of it? And the answer is, no, that's not the end of it. That is, there is a reason for church. It's normal to go there broken and needy and kind of in a dark place. That's normal because we fail. And if a church is doing what it ought to be doing, then somewhere in there, the pastor should be absolving us of our sin that's bothering us that week.
Isn't that the church's purpose?
It is the church's purpose. I wish it were more common in American Christianity. Americans are vulnerable to this because we're very pragmatic. If something is good, then we are glad we bought it and it's working well and so forth. But in Christianity, you've got that old Adam that's still there and is not going to die till we die. And it's only sane for us to say, oh, I hadn't really thought about that.
And there are many parts of Scripture that, even in Romans itself, particularly Romans is great at this, where we see the law dialed in even tighter, and it reveals that, being an unbeliever, I had a life in a certain way, but then when the law is revealed to me, sin flares up all the more.
Right. That's
when it really explodes.
Right. I had not known that I was coveting until the law said you shall not covet.
In a certain sense, it's like it's easier when I didn't have something to be rescued from a moment ago.
Right.
It actually seems more difficult now.
Yep.
Doesn't it?
Yep.
The law does this thing, and now I struggle because the law, as I go through my Christianity in this Christian life, it seems hard. In a certain sense, it seems harder.
Yeah. We know more from the law about our failure, and it's always going to be like that. It will always do that. The law is designed to kill, and it does. And then a good church will have baptism, the Lord's Supper, and some way that the pastor absolves you of your sin. If that's not present in the church you're going to, find some church where it is.
And it's hard for me just to even accept it. It's sort of I think about it and go, man, it's like, okay, you're gonna have to tell me that again, because I struggle to believe what you just said.
Right.
The good news you just gave me.
Yep.
It flees me as soon as it goes in my ears. It's out. It's like in one ear and out the other.
The law, not so, but the gospel, yes. We need to hear it for us every single Sunday.
And sometimes even that's not frequent enough.
Right.
I need it on Monday.
Right.
or on Tuesday and on Wednesday.
Exactly.
You know, because on some weeks it's the law is very difficult. It's on me. I mean, crushingly.
Yep.
You know, you know what I'm saying? Where there's like that fear, like that fear. I don't know what it is. It's just, it's on you that somehow these things that you've received, you've taken advantage of, you're taking a license with, you're running amok with, and you aren't really saved, and you're just using Jesus for your own purposes in some way. The grace is just, you know, I'm so wicked that I'm taking this gift that he's giving me
and using it for liberty.
And just using it to sin all the more, and any number of all of it. I feel like all the good news I could somehow turn into I could turn it into not for me in my head.
Yeah.
That's for somebody else. That's not for me. That's actually for somebody else. I'm too great. That wasn't for me.
Yeah.
That Jesus didn't actually die for me, and I could feel it because I'm the one that just takes all good things and makes it bad.
It is very common, though we don't know it, pastors hear it. It's very common for somebody to be coming to church regularly and believing down deep in them that their sin has been so great through their lives that even Jesus isn't going to fix it or can't. That is very common, but only the pastors hear it.
So part of the gospel is also, and we bang this drum too, the sufficiency.
Yep.
And I've seen it. I've seen people who are so deep in their sin, they're just like fighting it. No, but you haven't met me. No, Jesus didn't meet a sinner like me. No, mine is way worse. No, you don't understand how much I struggle.
Yep.
No, if you heard my story. No, if you understood the fight and the fight and the fight against that, this thing inside that goes, no, but mine's way worse.
Yep. Very real to a lot of people.
And it's a tug of war, and it never seems to go away. It never, even on my best days, it's somewhere echoing in there. It's just kind of gotten lighter, you know.
Yep.
Like the lights on in the room, so the shadows are sort of at bay for a moment, but you know the tigers come at night.
Yep. Very real.
When you're sitting there and that conscience of yours is practically yelling at you, and the lights are out, and you're married, and your spouse is lying there happily asleep or whatever.
Yep.
And you're lying there in terror.
Yep. The good news is better than we imagine.
I wish it wasn't so hard for me to believe.
Yep. So do I. Same thing.
It's such a struggle. I just, you know, and I know, I see in scripture that's, you know, Jesus says, my burden is light. You know, come to me, all you who are heavy laden.
Mm-hmm. Great verse.
Or my burden is easy and my yoke is light. I think that's what it is.
That's it.
And in the faith, though I believe and I confess the things I confess every week, and I feel like,
why isn't this working?
Why isn't it working? It doesn't feel light. I feel like a failure. This feels like worse.
Yep.
It feels worse. I'll be honest. It feels worse.
Yeah.
Now, it was easier before I knew you, Jesus. In that sense.
Yeah.
My sins haunt me now in a way they didn't before.
In the end, we'll laugh at it all because we'll see much more clearly that he took care of it one afternoon.
I just am so tired of living in terror. It's wearying. Living in terror is wearying.
Yep.
I mean, should I go to my pastor?
Sure.
You know, what if I feel like I'm already bugging the heck out of him, you know, 6 days a week?
Well,
or whatever.
Take a chance on that. That's what he's called to do. I take that back. Not all pastors know that they are called to do it. Find one who knows that that's his calling.
To take that off of me.
Yep. Over and over and over and over.
Because I am for you. The great I am is for you. Even every day or every hour. So seek that out and be relieved, because the burden should not be that great. Come to 1517.org for more, and we will see you on social media. Talk to you soon. Thank you for joining us on Talks with Dad Rod, part of the 1517 Podcast Network. This podcast and all 1517's content is made possible through financial support by listeners just like you. Please visit 1517.org for more, and please consider clicking on the donate button and making a recurring or one-time contribution to help us share this good news in a world which so desperately needs it.